Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to see the hands-on lab of IAM in which we are going to create users and groups and also testing the authorization of the users and the groups with the help of the policies. Right? So let us start. So this is the web page of AWS Management Console, and here on the right hand side you can see it is saying sign in to the console, and also in my account it is saying AWS Management Console. So you can click either on of them, or after that you will be redirected to a page which is the sign in page for the AWS. So here you can see that there are two options. The first one is the root user, which we are already a root user because we have created our account. So whenever we create our account, we are the root user. And the second option you can see, it is the IAM user. Right? So what we are going to do in this video, we are going to log in as a root user, but we shall be creating certain IAM users as the root user, right? So we will be creating IAM users, and after that we will be entering as the IAM user. So right now I am entering as a root user, and here I shall be putting the email address with which I have actually created my root account. So let me just put my mail ID and then the password. Right? And then I shall be clicking on sign in. And now this is our AWS's management console, and from here we shall be going to the IAM service, right? So you can see that I am the root user right now, right? So going to the search bar and typing IAM, the first search option is IAM, clicking on IAM. So now we will be on the IAM dashboard. Right. So there are certain security recommendations which are given over here. We shall be taking care of them later. But in this video, we will be creating users. So you can see right now I have 0 users. So on the left hand side under access management tab, you can have an option called users. Right. So clicking on users, and here you can see that here I do not have any user, right? So no users I have. So I will be creating a user. To click on add users, and here it will be asking you certain details about the user you want to create. So there are 5 steps, right? And we will be following each of them. So set user detail, it is asking username. So let me just put any random name over here. Let the name of my user be, okay, let it be Smith, right? Any random name right now I'm using. Now the next important thing is select AWS access type. Now this is something which we have studied a lot of time in our previous videos also. So you might be very much aware about the access types that we have for our AWS services. So there are 2 types. First is the programmatic access, in which we get the access key ID and the secret access key. This is the programmatic access, so you can access through API, the command line, or the software development kits, right? So this is the first one of access. The second one you can see is the password access, which is meant for the management console, right? So you can give any of the access to the user. Here I am giving both of them. You can select either of them also, right? And after that there is an option, because I have selected on the password for the management console. 2 types of password we can have: auto generated and custom password. So here I will be clicking on custom password and making any random password over here. And the next option you can see just below it, below the custom password, it is require password reset. So this is an option because whenever you will be signing in as a IAM user, it will be asking you to reset your own password, right? So for now, for checking this also, I am just clicking it over here, and then I shall be clicking on next permission. Right. So permission is the policies. So by default, nothing is allowed to any of the user. So in order to, make a user functional, we have to assign it with certain policies. So here we have three types of ways with which we can associate a user with a policy. First one is with the help of the user groups, right? So it says add user to a group. Right now I do not have any group because this is a new account and I'm using this is a new account, right? So I do not have any user right now. And then the next one is copy permission from existing user. Again, I'm creating my first user, so this is also not applicable. The third one is applicable, which is attach existing policies directly. So here I shall be going for the third option, and now you can see several policy names are visible on your screen, right? So here lot of policies are there, and you can see that these are all AWS managed policy, and there is a cubicle structure in front of each policy, which actually indicates that it is an AWS managed policy. But what you can do is you can also create your own policies, right? So there is also an option of creating a new policy, and which is managed by you, of course, and we shall be seeing them also in our further lectures, right? But for now, what I will be doing is I will be selecting an existing policy only. So I will be searching a policy for S3, and if I click on it, there are several policies for S3. I will be clicking on S3 read only access, right? So now this policy will be attached to my IAM user, right? Now read only access means it will be only able to read the list the objects that are there in S3, but not create anything. Next is cat tags. Now tags are optional, but it is up to your will if you want to add something or not, right? So here I'm just adding a tag which is department. Let's say Smith works in computers department, right? So it is optional, you can have them, but it is not necessary, right? But also we have tag based policies, we are going to see them later on, right? So now we are just reviewing it, that is a username and everything. It is shown in just to review. Everything is fine. Two policies are attached. The first is the read only and the second one is the change password, because we have ticked over that reset password option, right? Tag is also fine. So now clicking on create user. So with this, a new user is successfully created, right? And on your screen, you can see that there is an access key ID and the secret access key given on the screen. The password is not visible, right? Password, you can send it through a mail. But the important thing is, if you close this particular page right now, this access key and the secret access key will get deleted, or you can say that you cannot retrieve it. So the best practice is to download the CSV file that will be containing the access key and the secret access key in it, right? So now closing it. So now closing it, and after that you can see that the user Smith is now been created successfully, right? It does not belong to any group, and its last activity is never, because we haven't signed in as Smith yet, right? So now the next thing what we are going to do over here is we shall be signing in as a Smith to the management console, right? And for that, what we are going to do is open up another incognito window, right? Opening up Google and writing AWS free tier account, right? And there with the first link, we can go to the web page of AWS's management console, and now we shall be signing in as our IAM user, right? So clicking on sign in, we go to the sign in page, and here it is asking for root user or IAM. So I will be selecting IAM this time, and it will be asking about a 12-digit account ID or the alias, right? So in order to check the alias or the account ID, you can go back to the main root account, click on dashboard, And on the right hand side you can find that there is an account ID, which is a 12-digit number, and account alias. So I have already set up the account alias, and you can see two buttons, edit and delete, over there. But if you haven't created this alias, there will be a create button. So you can click on create and create this particular alias name, right? Because 12-digit number is difficult to remember. So what you can do, you can copy that number, put it here and click on next. And now you can write the name of the IAM user. This was Smith in this case, and the password that you have set up, and click on sign in. And now you can see, because we have clicked on the reset password check, so here it is asking the old password and it will be asking you to create a new password, right? So I shall be putting the old one first, right? Then a new password, randomly I'm making something up and retyping it again. And now it is confirm change. So now I have resetted the password, right? So now you are signed in as Smith at the rate, there is the account ID which is mentioned. So now you are the IAM user Smith, right? So this is how we are actually going to log in into our management console with the help of an IAM user, right? And now let us check whether the policies that we have attached to our user are working correctly or not, right? So here I shall be typing on, let's say another service, say EC2, because we haven't given the user any permission regarding EC2. So if I click upon it, you can see that there will be a lot of API errors, right? Because we are not allowed to do anything on EC2 instances. We are only allowed a read-only access on S3, right? So you can see over here is, see, a lot of API errors are there because you're not allowed to work anything. That means it is working very fine. Now let us come to S3. Okay, so clicking upon S3, you will be seeing that there is no error in the starting because we are not creating anything, we are just reading it. So if I click on create bucket, right? So you can see that we are not allowed to create bucket, we have only the read only access, right? So here if I try creating a bucket, I am giving just a random name, and everything else will be default setting only, and create bucket. So you can see failed to create a new bucket, right? Because the actions that we are allowed to perform are only read access, so we can only list the data, but we cannot create anything or modify anything in the S3 console, right? So that was related to the policy that we have attached. Now what I will be going to do is create a group this time. So for creating a group, click on user groups, right? No groups are there right now. Go to create group. It require a name, so I shall be giving any random name. Let's say it is group A, right? And then all the other things will be as it is. And then we are asked to add a user. It is optional, but we have a user, so we will be adding Smith to group A. And then it is attaching policy, again it is also optional, but this time I shall be given this group a policy which is Amazon S3 full access, right? So this should overwrite the policy of read only access to Smith, right? So this we are going to demonstrate now. So create group, and you can see that the group is created successfully. And after that I shall be creating one more user to show that we can also add users after the group has been created. So click on add user. This time the name should be, let's say, John. So only all the access I am giving it, permissions. Okay, so custom password I shall be creating one, and this time I won't be requiring it to reset the password, right? So I'm just giving a random password again, and then after it we shall be clicking on permission, right? So for permission I'm adding it to the group. Now I'm not attaching any policy directly, I'm putting John inside the group. Okay, and then tags are optional, so leave it as it is and click on review. Everything looks fine. Create user. So now group A has two user. First was Smith and second was John. So just download the credential for John also and then close the tab. So here now a new user is also created, and right, it is also a part of group A. Now remember that we have given group A full S3 access. So let us check whether Smith has got full access to S3 or not. Right, so here I shall be refreshing the console once because now I have added Smith to group A, and after that we are going to check if now we can create a new bucket or not. Right, so again I am giving any random numbers over here, and now I shall be clicking on create bucket. All right, capital letters should not be there in the bucket name, so again I shall be giving any random number. I think the caps lock is on. So yup, so now we can actually able to create buckets. So here you can see that there is no error, I hope, and yes, so you can see that a bucket is already created over here, and I do not got any error over here this time because now Smith is a part of a group and that group has full S3 access. Right, so that was all with this particular video. In here we studied how to create users, how to attach policies, how to create groups, and how to attach policies to the groups, right? And for more such detailed videos on AWS, stay tuned to my channel, and please don't forget to share and subscribe the channel as well. Thank you.